Do you believe it is unhelpful to public discourse in America that people keep calling Trump the new Hitler?
People call him Trump the Hitler. Republicans did. It was unhelpful. What's unhelpful is when we do not have policy conversations. That is unhelpful.
But why can't you just answer that question? Why is it so hard to answer?
When we go racist and non-racist,
hang on, Ben.
You don't actually talk about what the actual issue is. That to me is silly. And then when you spend 40 minutes on just that one question versus what are the
but you won't answer it either. This question can be answered very quickly and we move on.
I answered it.
What?
I answered it.
Do you believe? Hang on, Roland. What was your? I missed it. What was your answer?
How did you miss it?
Should people call Trump the new Hitler? Yes or no?
People shouldn't call Trump the new Hitler.
Okay.
If he quote Hitler, quote him.
Okay, good. So he's not the new Hitler. It's wrong to do that. It's inflammatory and wrong. Yeah.
Do I believe he's dangerous? Yes.
No, that's not the question.
No. See, again, Piers.
It's not the question.
No, Piers. This is the
It should be very straightforward.
No, Piers. You asked
Roland,
the question.
is he the new Hitler? No. Should people stop calling him the new Hitler? Yes.
I've already answered it.
So people should stop calling him Hitler.
Okay. We're going to call him Trump. What's the next question, Piers?
All right, guys. So we got to talk about Roly-Poly-Oly Martin. Okay. And the reason why is because he was on Piers Morgan's show. And I was like, well, that's fascinating. Roland Martin and Piers Morgan. That is definitely going to be a fascinating conversation to react to. And I got to tell you guys, it was much more fascinating than I could imagine. Because in this exchange with Roland Martin, Piers is going to reveal that Roland Martin really does not seem to have much confidence in Kamala Harris taking over for Joe Biden, okay? Because we know the Democrats are on the verge of overthrowing Joe Biden. It looks like they might be successful. And I think the conversation after that has to be, okay, well, what is now plan B, right? Like, who is going to take over for Biden? Now, there's questions about whether or not Kamala Harris is a surefire replacement for Joe Biden because nobody believes that Kamala Harris is competent enough to run the country, including Roland Martin, right? And Roland Martin is going to reveal that in this interview with Piers Morgan because Piers Morgan is going to ask him directly, okay, who do you want to take over for Joe Biden? Do you think that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris has a better chance of beating Trump? The fact that Roland Martin is going to refuse to answer these questions tells you everything you need to know about how even these so-called pro-blacks, okay, who stomp for people like Kamala, they don't have enough confidence in her, either as commander-in-chief, one, or her ability to actually beat Trump. Okay, those are two different things. But it's either one of those two things that clearly people don't have enough confidence in Kamala to be able to get the job done, right? And again, I think Roland Martin's evasiveness, the fact that he doesn't want to answer a very direct question, a question that you would think that somebody like him would be able to answer very easily, it really tells you a lot about what people actually think about Kamala Harris behind closed doors. So without further ado, I want to get into it. But before we get into it, I have to let you guys know, if you like my channel and you want to support my channel, you can check out my merch. Like, for example, the Make Biology Great Again shirt that I am wearing right now. It is one of my favorite shirts, especially the MAGA red shirt. You can check it out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off when you use discount code TEAMBCP.
Agree with that?
So let me walk you through this here. And that is this here. For the last 20 days, the attacks on Joe Biden have not come from the right. They've actually come from his own party.
Yes.
And so one of the dumbest things in the world. Now, we saw Donald Trump lie constantly in that debate on June 27th. What you did not see was Republicans talking about all of his lies. They totally ignored it. So what you have, so with all of that, you still have a very tight race. The greatest,
so again, I just have to point out just a couple of issues here. First and foremost, they always want to talk about the lies that Trump told at the debate. He allegedly told, right, according to them, but they never point out the actual lie, right? This guy also is claiming that the race is still tight. The race is not tight, okay? If you look at the swing state polling, it doesn't matter how you square it. Trump is winning right now in a landslide against Biden, right? So again, a lot of these people are living in a delusional world, right? Because Roland Martin wants Joe Biden to stay in. And I'm going to tell you guys why he wants Joe Biden to stay in. It's pretty obvious. But again, he has his own kind of reasoning behind why he's defending this idea that, well, Biden has a chance, or Biden gives us the best chance, which a couple weeks ago actually was a pretty good argument, okay? That's the argument I was making, because at that time, the polls were tighter than they are right now, and all of the alternatives to Joe Biden were polling worse than Joe Biden, including Kamala Harris. However, I think as time continues to progress, that is going to change, right? It's going to get to the point where it's like, no, Biden is legitimately the worst option for the Democrats right now, because his cognitive decline is just too apparent, right? It's too obvious. The genie's out of the bottle. You can't put it back in. They're basically going to do whatever they can to make him step down, right? So there are people like Roland Martin that don't want Joe Biden to step down, okay? And again, I think the reason why is because he's not very confident in Kamala Harris.
Fundamental problem for Democrats is this, and folks that want to deal with this. You have Dem power brokers who've been trying to get Kamala Harris off the ticket for 3 years. They don't want her to leave the ticket. So the 2028 battle is happening right now. Here's the problem, though. If you pick anyone other, if you take Biden off, you pick anybody other than Harris, you can't transfer the money. You can't transfer the 1,000 campaign workers. You can't transfer the 100 field offices. How do you build a national campaign on the fly in a matter of weeks?
But don't you think, Roland, the party machine, because the super PAC money can be transferred, right? Do you not think? Do you not think the machinery could get behind another candidate?
No, super PAC. Remember, super PACs are not supposed to coordinate with campaigns, even though we know they do. So they can't do that. So you have to have a campaign apparatus. So the Democrats' greater problem is they're killing their own plan A. Listen, when Disney was getting rid, trying to get rid of Bob Chapek, the board of Disney didn't go, hey, let's get rid of Bob and don't have a plan B. Get Iger already lined up. You cannot move on plan A unless you have a plan B in place.
All right, but so Roland, plan A, plan B, whatever. Who do you want to be the Democrat nominee to come up against Trump?
If you persuade Biden to step aside, the only logical person from a money and infrastructure standpoint,
no, I hear you,
is the vice.
But who do you want who do you want the nominee to be?
No, I'm not. See, again, I don't deal in this Disney-fied world. I deal.
Okay, so as you guys can see here, right? Piers asked this man a direct question: who do you want to take over? Who do you want to become the president or to be the nominee if they get rid of Biden? This guy basically evades answering the question by saying, well, the only logical choice is Kamala Harris. And it's like, well, that's not really an endorsement, right? That's just like saying, well, I'm only picking her because she's the only option that makes sense considering the infrastructure problems of the Democrat Party when it comes to switching candidates, okay? Because what will have to happen is that he's right. Like, there's a lot of campaign infrastructure that has been set up for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and to switch that out at such a late point in the game would require a whole lot of money, a whole lot of time, a whole lot of resources. It's just not a practical thing to do when you have somebody that's there that can take over by default. But again, he's essentially making the argument that, well, by default, Kamala Harris is the person. Again, that's not a ringing endorsement, right? That says a lot about how you actually feel about her if you can't come out here and say, I think Kamala Harris is ready to take over. I think that she can do the job. And honestly, she should be taking over for Joe Biden. That's what he should be saying. But he's not saying that. Why is he not saying that? Because he doesn't feel like that. That's why. That's why. Okay? And you know what's crazy? Is that we know that Kamala Harris is weak. We know that she's not ready. You know why you know that she's not ready? Is because she hasn't taken over already. The fact that Kamala Harris hasn't taken over already shows you that she ain't the girl, right? She's not the person. She's just not good. She's weak. She's extremely weak. Because any strong Democrat would have already already taken over for Joe Biden, right? They already done it. And they would have definitely have done it by now, considering what happened after that debate. But the fact that Kamala Harris not only hasn't taken over for Joe Biden yet, there's also a debate about whether or not she should take over. And again, it's not just, people in the media or whatever, or Democrats behind closed doors. This guy who's a Kamala Stan, Mr. Pro-Black, he can't come out here and give a ringing endorsement of Kamala Harris being the nominee, one, or being the president of the United States, right? It's either one of the two, which is why he's hesitant to actually answer the question.
In reality, the only person from a money standpoint and an infrastructure
I get you. So would you rather it be, okay, so would you personally rather it be Joe Biden or Kamala Harris?
Biden has to decide. See,
well, what do you think?
If Biden does, listen,
what
Biden
do you
has
think?
made it clear. Hey, Piers, Biden has made it clear he's running. Unless Obama goes to him and says, "Hey, Joe."
No, I understand all that, but I'm very curious why somebody who's been one of the most opinionated human beings I've ever known in my life.
Facts. He's not a journalist. He's an opinion commentator. Okay, in his capacity of what he does now, that is. Okay, he may have the title of journalist, but in the capacity of what he does right now, he's an opinion commentator. And right now, again, he could give his opinion. He's asked for his opinion. Do you think that Kamala or Joe Biden is better at the top of the ticket? He can't give a straight answer. Again, if this man thinks that Kamala Harris should not get a public endorsement on a neutral platform, because he's not on his platform anymore. He's on Piers Morgan's show, right? If he's not willing to give Kamala Harris a ringing endorsement on Piers Morgan's platform, what do you guys think that everybody else thinks about Kamala Harris behind closed doors? Yeah, it's going to be a disaster, right? I mean, Joe Biden being switched out for any Democrat at this point is going to be a disaster. If they switch to Kamala, it's going to be a disaster because they have no faith in her. They can't switch to somebody that they don't have faith in. You got to switch to somebody that you have faith in. However, if they decide to switch to somebody else, they skip over Kamala, then you're going to lose all the so-called pro-blacks who really don't think that Kamala is all that good, but they just want her there because of identity and race politics, right? It really is kind of sad to think about. It's really sad. So you have a situation here where if they skip over Kamala, those people boycott, which makes it harder for the person that you picked to win. I think it actually makes it an unwinnable situation because, again, all of the things that Roland Martin brought up about campaign infrastructure, campaign money, resources, it can't be easily transferred over. They might better get some of it, but not all of it. So now you have a new Democrat that's supposed to rile up the base, but the base is still very divided. Now you got the people that are upset that the Democrats skipped over Kamala. You got the people that are still upset about the Democrats overthrowing Biden. You got the people that are upset about Israel and Palestine. This is a completely fractured party. There are no good options for Democrats. None. Every option is a bad option. I'm so serious.
Which is a good thing. But why can't you just answer a straight question? Which one do you prefer?
Piers, I've been making the phone calls. I'm looking at the reality of this.
I know,
this is not.
Would you rather it be Biden or Harris? Who do you think has a better chance of winning?
I'm telling you right now. You missed what I just told you. Listen to me clearly, Piers.
Bruh.
If they move Biden, they're taking out Harris, and that will be completely detrimental.
Why are they taking?
Okay, so yes, if they move Biden, they may take out Harris as well too. Okay, but that's why you should be giving a ringing endorsement. This is why you should be coming out here and saying it should be Kamala Harris. The reason why he's not doing it, another reason why he's not doing it, is because he knows that if they take out Kamala, what will happen is that he will now be forced to get behind whoever the new candidate is. And he's definitely going to do it, right? 100%. he's going to do it. So he can come out here and say that, well, if they skip over Kamala, there's going to be problems. People are going to revolt, whatever. But he's not going to be one of those people, right? He's going to fall in line anyways, which, again, is why he can't give a ringing endorsement of Kamala, right? If you really feel like Kamala's qualified, she could beat Trump. Like, she's all that in a bag of chips. She's not a DEI hire, right? She's not affirmative action. If you guys really feel like she got it, she can do it, then come out here with the ringing endorsement. But they won't do it, right? They won't do it. Why is that? Because they don't believe it. They don't believe it. So again, it's deflection, right? Oh, well, Democrats going to take out Kamala anyway, so it doesn't matter what my opinion is. Well, again, this is why you should be supporting her, right? This is why you should, if you really believe in her like that, but they don't.
Yeah, Harris, I don't understand.
Because they haven't wanted her anyway. They went to Biden in the last couple of years to get him to drop.
Okay, but look, putting aside all of this, who do you personally, Roland Martin, who would you like to see take on Trump with the best chance of winning? Just give me a name.
The best chance you actually have of winning right now is Biden, Harris, because of money and infrastructure.
All right, fair enough. I got there in the end. All right.
Wow.
The entire party into complete disarray.
But I can tell you, you're already in complete disarray, and Joe Biden cannot beat Donald Trump. And actually, what happened last weekend, all that did was cement that. There's no chance.
There was no massive.
The Democratic Party is
not.
Let me bring in Jake for a final word on this. Jake.
Yeah. So again, when this guy was asked, what did he think is going to be the best ticket to win? He said Biden Harris. He didn't say Harris and somebody else. He didn't say Kamala at the top of the ticket, which again tells you everything that you need to know. Tells you everything you need to know. This man can't even come out here and say with a straight face that Kamala Harris will be better. But he said, oh, because it's infrastructure, because of all these issues. It's like, bro, Kamala Harris can take over most of that infrastructure, right? Kamala Harris should be ready. It doesn't matter if the Democrats don't want her. What actually matters is that if Kamala Harris was qualified and if she was capable of taking over, she would take over, right? I mean, she's in a natural position to take over. If there was a primary that was held, I think that Kamala probably would win the primary, if I had to guess, just from a name recognition perspective. So by default, she should be the person that should take over if they're going to do it undemocratically, right? If they're not going to have a primary, she should be the person. And again, like I stated earlier in this video, the fact that Kamala hasn't taken over, the fact that Kamala does not have the leadership ability, the skills to rally Democrats around her in a time like this tells you that, yeah, she's not cut out to lead, right? She can't. She should be rallying Democrats behind her. The fact that Democrats are freaking out about this from day one was an indictment of Kamala Harris. It really told you how much they think about Kamala Harris, which is not very much, okay? Because if they actually had confidence in her, this would not be a thing at all. It just wouldn't be a thing. So again, I don't know, right? You guys tell me. I don't know why he's not coming out here and giving a ringing endorsement of Kamala Harris being the candidate. But it has to be, again, one of two things. Either he doesn't believe that Kamala can beat Trump, or he doesn't believe that Kamala is qualified to be president of the United States. Otherwise, I don't understand why you just wouldn't say, I want Kamala to be the person. She can do it. But it's not my decision. This is what the party's thinking. But this is personally what I think would work for us. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.